You are not stuck. You are not broken. And you are not beyond repair. The truth? You don't need another excuse. You need a reset, a moment to stop, to breathe, to burn down everything that no longer serves you, and build a life of purpose, power, and clarity. You're here because something inside you knows. The way you've been living, isn't it? The distractions, the emotional chaos, the self-doubt. You feel it. Deep down, a call to rise, a hunger for something stronger. This is your moment. This is where it begins. The Stoics didn't preach comfort. They preached strength, self-mastery, emotional control. They knew the battle wasn't out there. It was within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Strength isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't show off. Real strength is silent, composed, grounded. It shows up when things fall apart. In this video, I'm going to give you 9 unbreakable principles rooted in Stoic wisdom and forged through real-world grit. These are the strategies that helped me destroy weakness, reset my thinking, and rebuild a life I'm proud of. If you've ever felt lost, numb, or ready to change but don't know where to start, this is for you. Let's break the cycle. Let's kill the weakness. Let's reset your mindset, restart your purpose, and refocus your life with unshakable power. Let's begin. Number 1. Burn the illusion of control. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." This single line can reset your entire life. Most people are prisoners of illusion. They fight reality. They chase control over the uncontrollable. And it breaks them. They scream at traffic. They argue with strangers online. They obsess over outcomes they have no influence over. And they wonder why they're exhausted, anxious, unfulfilled. That's not power. That's weakness disguised as effort. The Stoic does the opposite. He trains his mind to see clearly. He draws a line between what belongs to him and what doesn't. Your mind? That's yours. Your choices? Yours. Your attitude, discipline, and effort? All within your hands. But what someone else thinks, how the world responds, whether the rain falls or the deal goes through, not yours. Never was. Trying to control what isn't yours is like punching waves in the ocean. It makes noise, but it gets you nowhere. I lived that way once, reacting to everything, angry at the world, angry at people, frustrated that life didn't go my way. But the day I let go, I found power. I stopped yelling at traffic. I stopped trying to win arguments that didn't matter. I stopped waiting for the perfect conditions. And I started focusing on me, my morning routine, my training, my thoughts, my mission, my discipline. Everything changed. I felt lighter, sharper, stronger. Not because life got easier, but because I got focused. And that's the shift. Weak men try to control the world. Strong men control themselves. The illusion of control is just that, an illusion. It will break you if you chase it. But once you see through it, once you burn it to the ground, you unlock a deeper level of clarity most people never touch. Here's the Stoic truth. You are not owed peace. You are not owed success. You are not owed anything. But you are capable of anything if you stay focused on what's within your power. So, when the storm comes, you don't fight the wind. You stand firm in your discipline. You anchor yourself to reason. You let go of everything else. That's freedom. That's Stoicism. That's how you rise. So burn the illusion, let it go, and take back your mind. Because once you do, no one can take it from you again. Number 2, kill the noise. Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. But what if the greatest threat to your growth isn't a person? It's the constant noise around you. We live in a world that never shuts up. Notifications ping, headlines scream, opinions fly. Everyone wants your attention. Everyone wants a piece of your mind. And without even realizing it, you give it away. You wake up and check your phone. You scroll through chaos. You absorb anxiety that isn't yours. Before your feet even touch the ground, your mind is already drowning. No wonder you feel tired. No wonder your thoughts are scattered. No wonder your confidence feels like it's slipping through your fingers. You weren't built for this. Your mind was designed for clarity, for focus, for strength, not this endless flood of distraction. That's why the reset begins with silence. I made one decision that changed everything. I stopped giving the world the first few minutes of my day. No phone, no feeds, no noise. I woke up and I sat in silence. No music, no scrolling, just breathe, just thought, just presence. And what I found was something I didn't even know I'd lost: control. When you cut the noise, you reclaim your mind. I stopped letting strangers on the internet shape how I felt. I stopped needing validation. I stopped comparing. I unplugged. I unfollowed. I detached. And in that silence, I heard something powerful. My own voice. Not the voice of fear. Not the voice of doubt. Not the voice of the world. But my real voice. The one that knows what I need to do. The one that's always been there, buried under the noise. That's the secret. You don't need more input. You need more inner stillness. That's where your power is rebuilt. That's where your focus sharpens. That's where your self-worth returns. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strength. It's space. Space to think. Space to grow. Space to breathe. So stop handing your mind to the world. Kill the noise. Mute the chaos. And listen to the one voice that matters, your own. That's how you reset. That's how you restart. That's how you rise. In silence, the real you awakens. Number 3. Build the morning you deserve. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Your morning is not just the start of your day. It's the spark that lights the fire of your entire life. If you wake up and dive straight into chaos, you're setting the tone for more chaos. You're not leading your day. You're reacting to it. That's weakness. That's what keeps you stuck. But if you wake up with strength, with intention, with purpose, you take control. You dominate the day before it even begins. That's power. That's clarity. That's how you rise. I made a choice. No more scrolling in bed. No more rushing. No more chaos. I turned my mornings into a ritual. No phone, no noise, just breathe, stillness, presence. I journaled my thoughts, not for the world, but for me. I trained my body because a strong mind needs a strong vessel. I reviewed my goals because a man without direction is a man drifting. And every single morning, I reminded myself, I am here for more. I am not here to repeat yesterday. I am not here to be average. I am here to become something greater. That's the standard. That's the level. Your morning should reflect your highest self, not your lowest habits. You don't need to copy someone else's routine. You need to design one that fuels you. Maybe that's movement. Maybe that's silence. Maybe that's reading or writing or praying or planning. But whatever it is, make it sacred. Make it yours. Because if you can own the first hour of your day, you can own every hour that follows. The Stoics knew that life is war. And every morning you have a choice. Walk into battle unarmed, or sharpen your mind, your body, your spirit. The weak hit snooze, the strong rise with fire. Choose discipline, choose direction, choose strength. Build the morning you deserve, and the rest of your life will follow. Number 4. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Seneca said, "Set aside now and then a number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" That's not just a quote, it's a challenge, a wake-up call, a reminder that the comfort you cling to might be the very thing destroying you. Comfort lulls you, it seduces you, and then it weakens you, slowly, silently, without you even noticing. You stop chasing growth, you start settling, and soon you become soft, in body, in mind, in will. I made a decision to suffer on my terms, not because I wanted to be a martyr, but because I refused to be a slave to comfort. I took cold showers, not to feel pain, but to master the voice in my head that begged for warmth. I fasted, not to punish my body, but to remind myself that I am more than my urges. I sat in silence, not because it was easy, but because it was uncomfortable. And that's where I found my edge. That's where I found my power. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It strips away the excess. It reveals your true strength. It teaches you that you can endure more than you think. And once you know that, the world changes. You stop fearing hard times. You stop avoiding challenge. You walk into it with a straight back and a calm mind. This is the Stoic path. Not to avoid pain, but to train for it. To rehearse hardship so that when life punches you, you don't flinch, you rise. You respond. You endure. Don't wait for life to break you. Break yourself first, on purpose, with discipline, with courage. That's how you build resilience. That's how you forge a mind that doesn't quit when it gets hard, but locks in, digs deep, and pushes forward. True strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in challenge. So, choose discomfort. Embrace it. Let it mold you into the kind of person nothing can break. Number 5. Stop explaining yourself. Epictetus taught, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." That's not a suggestion. That's a commandment, a mindset shift that will set you free. Because the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You don't need to justify why you're changing, why you've gone silent, why you've cut certain people off, why you wake up earlier, train harder, move differently. I used to waste energy trying to explain. I wanted people to understand. I wanted them to cheer for me, support me, see what I was building. But the more I explained, the more I realized something. The ones who get it don't need an explanation. And the ones who demand an explanation will never get it. So I stopped talking. I started doing. I let my silence become my loudest statement, because the Stoic doesn't speak to be understood. He lives to understand himself. He doesn't seek validation. He seeks virtue. He doesn't try to convince anyone. He convinces himself through action, through repetition, through discipline. That's what you need to do now. Move in silence. Let your habits speak. Let your consistency echo. Let your results scream what words never could. You don't have to defend your peace. You don't have to shrink your light to make others comfortable. You don't need permission to level up. You don't need approval to change your life. Some people won't understand why you've changed, and that's okay. Growth will always confuse those who remain the same. You're not here to please them. You're not here to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You're here to rise. You're here to evolve. You're here to become something rare in a world full of noise, something grounded, solid, unshakable. So, stop explaining. Start embodying. Let your walk do the talking. Let your presence carry weight. Let your actions be your philosophy, etched in every routine, every choice, every breath. The world doesn't need another person talking about discipline. It needs someone living it. Be that one. And remember, real ones don't explain. They execute. Number 6. Detach from the outcome. Marcus Aurelius said, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason, which today arm you against the present." That's the power of detachment. Not from effort, but from results. Not from action, but from expectation. The Stoic knows you don't control the outcome. You never did. What you control is the input, the process, the grit, the focus, the discipline, the sweat you pour in, day after day, whether anyone's watching or not. But most people live addicted to results, addicted to likes, addicted to views, addicted to validation, applause, praise. And the second it doesn't show up, they fall apart. They question their worth. They break their rhythm. They start chasing instead of building. That's weakness. That's chaos. I used to chase too. I gripped my goals so tight I suffocated them. I obsessed over numbers, over recognition, over timelines that didn't belong to me. And the more I obsessed, the more anxious I became. The more I pushed, the more everything slipped through my fingers. Until one day, I let go. Not of the mission, but of the pressure. I detached from the results. I stopped checking the scoreboard and started focusing on the reps. I trusted my process. I believed in my system. I found peace in doing the work, regardless of what it brought me. And something powerful happened. The results started showing up. Not because I chased them, but because I earned them. Because I was too focused to doubt myself. Too grounded to panic. Too consistent to fail. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care so deeply about the right things that you're no longer held hostage by the wrong ones. You care about your growth, your discipline, your integrity, your effort. And you trust that if you keep showing up with fire, life will return the energy in its own time. Detach from the outcome. Let go of the timelines. Free yourself from the pressure. And pour everything you have into the present. Because this moment, right now, is where your power lives. This is where you become who you were meant to be. And when the future arrives, you'll be ready. Not because you predicted it, but because you prepared for it every single day. In silence, in discipline, in strength. That's Stoicism. That's power. Number 7. Forgive your past, but never forget the lesson. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." That's the truth most people forget. Your future isn't built by running from your past. It's built by understanding it, owning it, and rising from it. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the shame, the guilt, or the moments you wish you could erase. But you are responsible for how you carry them, for how you grow from them, for how you let them shape who you become next. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's power. It's the decision to cut the rope that's been holding you back, to stop dragging old weight into new chapters, not because it didn't matter, but because it no longer controls you. I used to wear my past like armor. I thought if I never let it go, I could protect myself. But all it did was slow me down. All it did was keep me angry, bitter, distracted. So, I stopped running. I sat with it. I faced the pain, the mistakes, the decisions that broke me. I didn't deny them. I didn't justify them. I owned them. And in that ownership, I found peace. I forgave the old version of me. I didn't excuse him. but I understood him. And from that understanding, I pulled the lesson. I found the growth. I made the decision. This ends with me. Your past isn't a prison. It's a teacher. If you use it right, it becomes fuel. It becomes clarity. It becomes the exact fire you needed to build a stronger, wiser, more powerful version of yourself. Don't erase your story. Don't wish it away. Look at it. Learn from it. And then step forward with unshakable strength. Because no one can hurt you with a story you've already mastered. You've been through things that could have broken you, but you're still here. That's not weakness. That's power. That's proof. Proof that your scars don't define you. They refine you. So forgive. Not for them, for you. So you can be free. So you can finally reset, restart, and refocus without the weight of yesterday holding you down. Forgive your past, but never forget the lesson. That's how you rise. That's how you rebuild. That's how you become untouchable. Number 8. Lead yourself first. Marcus Aurelius didn't ask others to be great. He asked himself. That's the essence of real leadership. It begins within. Before you guide anyone else, you must master your own mind, your own choices, your own life. Leadership isn't about titles. It's not about being louder, tougher, or more popular. It's about being solid, grounded, focused. A leader isn't someone who tells people what to do. A leader is someone who shows what's possible. The Stoic way is clear. Control yourself before you try to control anything else. Be the example, not the echo. Don't demand excellence from others if you haven't demanded it from yourself. I used to talk. I used to give advice, push people, preach discipline. But my actions weren't matching my words. And that disconnect, it cost me respect, clarity, and momentum. So I stopped speaking. I started doing. I woke up earlier. I trained harder. I built routines and stuck to them. I mastered my mornings. I took ownership of my emotions, my energy, and my mindset, and something shifted. I didn't have to say anything. People saw it. They felt it. They started asking me how I did it. That's when I learned the real truth. The most powerful form of influence is personal transformation. Lead yourself first. Lead when no one's clapping. Lead in the dark, when no one's watching. Because that's where real strength is forged. Not in the spotlight, but in silence, in sweat, in consistency. You want to build something powerful. Start with you, your discipline, your habits, your character. Because if you can lead yourself through chaos, pain, and temptation, there is nothing you won't be able to handle. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he never stopped ruling himself. That's why he left behind wisdom, not just power, because he lived it, quietly, consistently, honorably. So ask yourself, are you leading yourself? Or are you waiting for someone to lead you? Because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to build the life you want. That responsibility is yours. Be the kind of person others want to follow, not because you told them to, but because your life is proof that it can be done. That's what Stoicism teaches. That's what self-mastery demands. Not noise, not ego, but quiet, relentless leadership. Starting with the one person you'll always be responsible for, yourself. Number 9. Never break your word to yourself. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That's the core of discipline, the foundation of self-respect. Before you speak to the world, you speak to yourself. Before you make a promise to anyone else, you make it to the one person who matters most, you. But here's the truth. Most people ignore. Every time you break that promise, every time you hit snooze, skip the workout, cheat the plan, You're not just breaking a habit, you're breaking trust with yourself. And that trust, it's everything. It's the root of confidence, the seed of self-worth. Because when you say you'll do something and you actually do it, you start to believe in your own strength. You start to build an identity of power, of grit, of consistency. But if you keep breaking your word, even in small ways, you silently tell yourself, I don't follow through, I don't finish, I can't be trusted. That voice will eat you alive. That weakness will show up in every part of your life, your goals, your relationships, your mindset. When I decided to stop lying to myself, everything changed. I stopped setting fake goals. I stopped saying tomorrow. I got honest, brutally honest. I told myself the truth about who I was and who I wanted to become. And then I went to war for it. Quietly, relentlessly. No more broadcasting my plans. No more making promises for attention. Just discipline, just action. Your word is your weapon. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. The Stoic doesn't need applause. He doesn't need validation. His strength comes from keeping promises no one else sees. Say less, do more. Let your actions speak a language your past self wouldn't even understand. Wake up when you said you would. Train when you said you would. Work when it's hard. Stay locked in when it's boring. That's how you become unbreakable. Not through motivation, not through hype, but by keeping your word in the dark when no one's watching. If you say you're going to rise, rise. If you say you're going to change, change. Your future is built in the micro decisions of your day, the quiet choices, the hidden battles. And when you string enough of those victories together, you don't just build results. You build a man who trusts himself, a man who honors his word. And that man, he becomes unstoppable. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about chasing purpose. It's about waking up every day with the hunger to be better than you were yesterday. You don't need more time. You don't need more approval. What you need is more honesty, more focus, more fire. These 9 Stoic principles aren't just words. They're weapons. They're tools to rebuild yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually. I didn't just learn them. I lived them, and they changed everything. Now it's your turn. This is your line in the sand. The moment where you stop making excuses, where you stop blaming your past, your circumstances, or other people, and you take full ownership. Because no one is coming to save you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to celebrate. It means it's all in your hands. You have the power to reset, to restart, to refocus, and to rise. But that starts now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now build the morning you deserve. Embrace discomfort. Lead yourself first. And most of all, never break your word to yourself. Because when your actions speak louder than your excuses, that's when you become unstoppable. If this message hit home, like it. Comment below what you're taking from it. Share this with someone who needs it. And subscribe, because this is just the beginning. There's a new chapter ahead, and it starts with one decision. Live Stoic. Live strong. Never break.